A financial win isn't some lottery ticket, and it damn sure isn't luck. It's not about waking up one day and stumbling into a pile of money. No, a financial win is war. It's domination. It's you against your excuses, your laziness, your distractions, and most importantly, your lack of discipline. You see, most people are financially defeated before they even start. They've already accepted failure because they've been programmed to believe that survival is enough. Get a job, pay the bills, maybe take a vacation once a year, and somehow, that's life. That's winning. That's slavery dressed up in a tie. A financial win means breaking that system. It means refusing to be a cog in someone else's machine. It means building the machine yourself. You don't win financially by following the herd. You win by outthinking, outworking, and outlasting everyone around you. And here's the truth no one tells you. The system was never designed for you to win. It was designed for you to obey. From the day you're born, you're taught to listen, not to question. School doesn't teach you money. It teaches you obedience. Memorize facts, pass tests, raise your hand. Sit in silence, then they hand you a piece of paper and say, "Congratulations, you're ready for the world." But the world doesn't care about your degree. It cares about your value. The people who win in this game aren't the ones who played it safe. They're the ones who learned the rules, then broke them. They're the ones who realized the game was rigged and chose to build their own. A financial win is a declaration of war against mediocrity. It's the moment you draw the line in the sand and say, "I refuse to be average." It's not about hating the rich, it's about refusing to be broke. It's about realizing that comfort is the enemy because comfort makes you soft. Comfort makes you predictable, and predictable people get controlled. They get manipulated. They get told what to do, when to do it, and how much they're worth. That is not living. That is surviving. And surviving is for the weak. If you want a financial win, you have to be willing to bleed. You have to be willing to go through the fire that others are too scared to face. Most people will never see a real win because they can't handle the grind. They want it easy. They want shortcuts, but there is no shortcut to power. You have to build yourself from the ground up. You have to become a savage. You have to turn your back on mediocrity, distraction, and every single person who wants to keep you small. Because here's the truth, not everyone wants you to win. In fact, most people are terrified of your potential. Your rise will expose their laziness. Your discipline will highlight their weakness. And your success will remind them of every excuse they ever made. So don't expect applause. Don't expect support. Expect resistance and use that resistance as fuel. Every time you choose to work when others sleep, you win. Every time you say no to comfort, you win. Every time you shut out distraction, you win. These small victories, day after day, build the foundation for a financial win. It's not about one big moment. It's about 1,000 silent battles you fight and win without anyone watching. The early mornings, the late nights, the missed parties, the rejected deals, the cold showers, the brutal honesty with yourself. That's the price, that's the path, and if you don't have the stomach for it, step aside. This isn't for the weak. You need to become obsessed with building, with learning, with leveling up. You need to hate the idea of being average so much that it keeps you awake at night. You need to become so focused that people start calling you crazy. Good, let them, because normal isn't working, normal is broke, normal is debt, normal is living paycheck to paycheck, watching your life disappear 1 month at a time, and that, to me, is insanity. You have to wake up with a target on your back and a fire in your chest. You have to get strategic. You have to learn the game of money, the real game, not what they teach you in school. The game of assets, leverage, systems, influence. That's the game the winners are playing while everyone else scrolls and complains. People love to talk about how unfair life is. But life isn't unfair. It's indifferent. It doesn't care. Life will give you exactly what you demand from it. Not what you beg for. Not what you hope for. What you demand, and the only way to demand more is to become more. You want a financial win, become a weapon. Become so valuable, so skilled, so irreplaceable that money becomes a byproduct of who you are. Not something you chase, something you attract. That only happens when you raise your standards and raise your execution. You stop talking and start moving. You stop posting quotes and start writing checks. You stop watching others win and start becoming the win. A financial win is not just about money, it's about power. Power to say no, power to walk away, power to protect your time, power to take care of your people. And you don't get that power by accident, you earn it. Every rep, every failure, every rejection, every hour alone while your friends waste time. You earn it in silence, in sweat, in strategy, and then one day it shows. Not just in your bank account, but in your posture, in your mindset, in the way you walk into a room and own it. That's the real win, when you no longer ask for permission, when you don't need validation. When you are the standard, you want to win, then stop negotiating with your weakness. Stop explaining your failures. Stop rationalizing your laziness. Kill your excuses. Starve your distractions. Feed your ambition. Be brutal with yourself. Audit your time, your habits, your friends. Cut the fat. Keep the fire. Every second wasted is a second someone else is getting sharper, richer, more dangerous. The clock is always ticking, and nobody's coming to give you more time. So stop playing like you have forever. You don't. A financial win is not a finish line. It's a mindset, a code, a way of life. It means you operate with precision. You treat time like gold. You don't chase money, you build value. You build leverage. You build control, and then money chases you. That's the truth. That's the path. That's what separates the winners from the watchers. And if you're not ready to be hated, doubted, underestimated, and laughed at on your way there, then you're not ready to win. Because the win is reserved for the relentless, the disciplined, the obsessed, the ones who want it bad enough to bleed for it. Every win starts in your mind. Your thoughts are either your fuel or your poison. If your inner dialogue sounds like, "I hope I make it," you've already lost. Winners don't hope. Winners decide. Winners demand. The war for financial dominance begins not with spreadsheets or business plans, but with brutal mental clarity. The average person has already lost before they begin because their mind is wired for doubt, for hesitation, for comfort. They wake up already apologizing to the world for their existence. They move through life whispering when they should be roaring. A financial win cannot exist in the life of someone who tolerates weakness in their thoughts. Your mind must become a fortress, unbreakable, disciplined, ruthless. If your thinking is soft, your results will be soft. If you let fear, doubt, and insecurity set up camp in your head, don't be surprised when they rob you blind. You want to win, then you need to start by slaughtering the lies you've been fed. You need to kill the myth that you're not good enough, that you need to wait for the right time, or that someone else has to choose you. No one is going to hand you a financial win. No one is going to pick you out of the crowd and say, "You there, you're the one." If you want it, you have to take it. That mindset, that absolute certainty, that killer instinct, that's where it begins. The moment you decide you're done playing small, that you're done living in the shadows of your own potential, everything changes. The moment you realize that every time you hesitate, you hand power to someone else, that's the spark, that's the shift. A financial win starts when you choose war against everything that holds you back. Most people will never understand this. They'll laugh at it. They'll mock the mindset because they can't fathom the discipline it requires. They live in a world of feelings, of moods, of doing their best. But doing your best isn't enough. You either win or you don't. There's no participation trophy in the real world. There is money or there is lack. Power or powerlessness. Domination or submission. You want to win, then stop playing with half your heart. Burn the backup plans, stop preparing to fail, build the kind of mental clarity that makes you unshakable. When doubt creeps in, crush it. When fear shows up, face it. When weakness whispers in your ear, scream back louder. You have to stop seeing money as the goal and start seeing it as the score. The real goal is power. The real goal is control. The real goal is to build a version of yourself that deserves the money you want. You don't attract wealth by begging for it. You attract it by becoming a person who can carry it, and that means mastering your thoughts. Your thinking creates your results. Your identity shapes your actions. If you believe you're average, you'll behave average. If you believe you're a killer, you'll move like a killer. It's that simple. Your thoughts create your standards. Your standards create your behavior. And your behavior creates your reality. Want to change your bank account? Change your thoughts first. People think a financial win is about knowledge. Wrong. It's about belief. You can give the same blueprint to two different people, and one will win while the other fails. Why? Because belief is the filter. One sees the path and says, this is possible. The other sees the path and says, this is hard. Same opportunity, different outcome, not because of skill, because of mindset. Your belief system is your foundation. If it's cracked, your empire will collapse. You have to believe you're meant for more. You have to believe you're built for this, not in some fluffy, motivational quote way, but in a savage, unshakable, all-consuming certainty that refuses to be ignored. And understand this, your environment feeds your mind. If you're surrounded by losers, complainers, and excuse makers, their voices will seep into your soul. If you're constantly absorbing fear-based media, scarcity-based thinking, and weak opinions, don't be shocked when you start thinking like them. You must protect your mind like your life depends on it, because it does. Every book you read, every voice you listen to, every minute you spend online, it all programs you. You are either feeding your mind the fuel it needs to win, or you're poisoning it with trash. Odd at your input. Filter everything, and if someone around you isn't pushing you toward greatness, cut them off ruthlessly. This is the part no one wants to hear. They want hacks. They want shortcuts. They want some magical 5-step formula to financial freedom. But here's the reality. The real win starts when you turn your mind into a weapon, when you learn how to control your emotional state, when you stop chasing pleasure and start chasing purpose, when you stop reacting to life and start creating it. Winners think differently. They see problems as puzzles, not obstacles. They see setbacks as fuel, not failures. They don't cry when life punches them in the face. They punch back. And if they get knocked down, they rise stronger. Not because they're lucky, because they've built the mental muscle to keep moving. Let me ask you something. What's the dominant thought in your mind right now? Is it fear? Is it doubt? Or is it war? Are you waking up every day thinking, how can I dominate today? How can I win so violently that even my haters have to respect me? Or are you waking up hoping to survive the day? There's a difference. One mindset builds empires, the other builds excuses. Your thoughts are your compass, and if your compass is broken, you'll stay lost. Fix your mind, sharpen your thoughts, because your mind is the engine of every financial decision you'll ever make. And if that engine is weak, no amount of hustle will save you. A financial win is a byproduct of internal warfare. You must go to war with your fears, your past failures, your inner critic. You must silence the voices that tell you to play safe. You must dismantle the belief systems that keep you trapped in a life you hate. That means facing the truth. That means getting uncomfortable. That means doing the deep work that others avoid. It's easier to scroll. It's easier to blame, it's easier to quit, but none of that leads to freedom. What leads to freedom is clarity, ruthless, radical, painful clarity. You have to look in the mirror and say, this version of me cannot win. I have to evolve. I have to level up. I have to kill the old me. That's where the win begins, and you don't need motivation. Motivation is a drug for the weak. You need obsession. You need a vision so vivid it burns in your skull. You need to get so clear on what you want that nothing can pull you off track. That kind of clarity repels distraction. That kind of clarity cuts through noise. The man who knows exactly what he wants cannot be seduced by mediocrity. He's too focused, too locked in. That's the mental state you need to win. You don't need another seminar. You need a mission. You need a reason to become dangerous. And once you have that reason, protect it, guard it. Let no one touch it, because people will try. They'll tell you to calm down, to be realistic, to play it safe. They'll project their fears onto your vision. Don't let them. Don't let people who quit on themselves talk you out of your destiny. Their words are poison. Their advice is a trap. They mean well, but they're wrong because they don't see what you see. They haven't felt the fire you've felt. They don't understand the war you're fighting every single day, and they never will. So you have to walk alone sometimes. You have to isolate yourself from the noise. You have to get quiet so you can hear your own voice. Because in that silence, clarity is born. In that silence, you realize that you were never broken. You were never weak. You were just distracted. You were just misled, and now you see the truth. Now you understand that your mind is the battlefield, and the only way to win out there is to win in here first. So decide right now. Decide to become the kind of person who refuses to lose. Decide that every thought you think will push you closer to your win. Decide to dominate your mind before you ever try to dominate your industry. That's how it starts. That's the first real win, and once you win there, the rest becomes inevitable. The path to a financial win is paved with discipline, and not the kind of discipline people talk about casually. I mean the type of discipline that makes you unrecognizable to your past self. The type of discipline that is brutal, unrelenting, and borderline insane to the average person. You don't build a financial fortress by playing nice with your habits. You build it by beating your weakness into submission. You wake up early even when your body screams no. You work longer, harder, and smarter while others are wasting hours on things that don't matter. You track every dollar, every move, every thought. You turn your life into a war room, and from that war room you plan attacks, you execute strategies, and you remove anything that doesn't serve your mission. Most people want freedom, but they live like slaves. Slaves to comfort, slaves to distraction, slaves to their impulses, and here's the truth. If you can't master your day, how the hell are you going to master your destiny? If you can't control your phone, your time, your sleep, your diet, then forget about money. Money hates the undisciplined. It runs from the weak-willed. It flees from those who negotiate with their excuses. You want to win financially, you have to become a machine. Your habits must be tighter than your goals. Your rituals must outwork your excuses, because in the arena of wealth, only the consistent survive. People talk about hustle like it's a trend. Hustle isn't about working until you're tired. It's about building a rhythm so intense that it makes quitting look stupid. It's not about grinding for a week and then rewarding yourself with a weekend. No, it's about going so deep into your mission that you forget what day it is. You want a financial win, then you need to stop living like you're on vacation. You're not on holiday. You're in battle. And while you're relaxing, someone else is building. While you're scrolling, someone else is selling. While you're hesitating, someone else is executing. That someone else is taking your market share, your money, your legacy. The world rewards the doers. The obsessed, the unstoppable. You need to build systems. Systems beat motivation every single time. You're not always going to feel like working. You're not always going to be inspired. That's irrelevant. What matters is that you have built a life where showing up is non-negotiable. Systems make you dangerous. Systems make you efficient. When you have a process that runs like a machine, you can scale. You can dominate. You can duplicate success over and over again. A real financial win is about turning chaos into control. It's not sexy. It's not glamorous, but it's lethal, because while others are relying on emotion, you're relying on execution. If you study winners, you'll see the same pattern. They don't guess. They don't dabble. They don't wait for clarity. They make decisions quickly. They move aggressively. They operate with precision because they understand the cost of hesitation. Every second you delay, you're bleeding opportunity. Every moment you waste, you're funding someone else's empire. The financially elite don't work harder by accident. They work harder by design. They treat their time like a weapon. Every block of their calendar is a strike against poverty. They plan their life with the intensity of a general preparing for war. That's what this takes. You need to treat your calendar like it's sacred. You need to eliminate decision fatigue. You shouldn't be thinking about what you're going to do next. You should already know. Winners plan their days before the world wakes up. They attack the morning with such violence that by the time the average person starts their first task, the winner is already on their second wind. You can't play with time. Time is the currency of the rich. The broke man wastes it. The rich man invests it. Every moment matters, and if you're casual with time, you'll be a casualty of the game. You also need to master your energy. Energy is your weapon. It's what fuels your drive. And if you're drained, distracted, or disoriented, you're easy prey. You have to protect your energy with everything you have. That means cutting off toxic people. That means saying no more than you say yes. That means turning your body into a machine through fitness, nutrition, and recovery, because your body is the vehicle that carries your vision. If your body breaks, the mission collapses. Don't let your lifestyle become a liability. Build habits that fuel your fire. Get strong, get fast, get focused. A weak body is a threat to a strong dream, and while we're at it, let's talk about sacrifice. You want to win, then you'd better be ready to bleed. Not everything will go your way, not every idea will land, not every deal will close, but if you're the kind of person who folds under pressure, then wealth isn't for you. Wealth is for warriors, and warriors don't cry about temporary losses. They reload, they refocus, they come back harder. The path to a financial win is littered with failure. It's supposed to hurt. It's supposed to stretch you. The pain isn't a punishment, it's a teacher. It sharpens you, it exposes your flaws, it forges your resilience. Too many people are addicted to ease. They want success without sacrifice. They want the rewards without the scars, but real wealth is bloody. It's forged in long nights, lost friendships, sleepless grinds, and brutal lessons. And if you can stomach all of that, if you can endure it with a smile on your face and fire in your eyes, then the win is yours. But make no mistake, you will be tested, life will hit you hard, it will knock the breath out of your lungs, but that's where winners are made, not in the easy seasons, but in the storms, and through it all, you have to keep building. Keep creating, keep stacking wins, small wins, micro wins, daily victories, because momentum is your secret weapon. When you stack enough wins, you become unstoppable. One win leads to another, one success births another. It becomes a chain reaction, and soon you're not just working, you're winning. Your momentum is so powerful that it drags success to your doorstep. That's how the win happens, not all at once, but one disciplined decision at a time. And let's not forget the importance of mastery. In a world of amateurs, mastery is the ultimate leverage. Most people dabble in 10 things and suck at all of them. Winners go deep, they focus, they specialize. They become so good at one thing that the world can't ignore them. That kind of mastery doesn't happen by accident. It happens by obsession. It happens by doing the same thing every day with ruthless precision. It's boring, it's repetitive, but it's effective because while others are distracted, you're dominating. If you want to win financially, you must be allergic to mediocrity. You must build a personal standard so high that average feels disgusting. You must become obsessed with your own potential. Every second wasted is a betrayal to the person you could be. Every lazy habit is a slap in the face to your future self. You have to raise your standards so high that people think you're insane. Because in this game, sanity is the enemy, sanity settles, sanity plays it safe, but the win belongs to the insane, the driven, the obsessed, the relentless. You also need to learn how to manage pressure. Pressure isn't your enemy, it's your privilege. The more pressure you can handle, the more wealth you can command. Pressure builds capacity. It forces you to level up. And if you're always avoiding it, you'll never grow. You have to learn to thrive under pressure, to stay calm when everyone else is panicking, to execute when others are breaking. That's the difference between the rich and the rest. The rich don't avoid problems, they hunt them. They see challenges as invitations to evolve, they lean in when others back out, and finally, never forget this, you must become undeniable. Your work must be so sharp, so powerful, so irrefutable that the world has no choice but to reward you. You can't beg for opportunities. You can't wait for someone to open the door. You must become the door. You must become the person who creates opportunities, who builds their own table, who becomes so powerful that even your silence demands respect. That's how you win, not by asking, by taking, by building, by becoming. You don't need permission. You don't need luck. You need a standard. You need discipline. You need obsession. That's what builds empires. That's what creates a financial win, and once you commit to that level of execution, the money shows up, not as a gift, but as a result of every sacrifice, every grind, every moment you chose discipline over comfort. That's the game, that's the way, and once you lock into that, the win is already yours. The final piece of the puzzle, the ultimate lever in securing a financial win, is understanding that legacy is the end game. It isn't just about stacking money for the sake of stacking money. It's about building something that outlives you. Something so powerful, so undeniable, that your name echoes through the halls of time long after you're gone. And that kind of wealth, that kind of power, doesn't come to people who play small. It comes to those who understand that money is just the beginning. You must evolve beyond the need for validation and start playing the game for impact. Most people are chasing validation. Likes, approval, applause, that's not wealth. That's poverty disguised as popularity. True wealth is silent, aggressive, and strategic. It's not loud. It doesn't need attention. It speaks for itself, and to build that kind of legacy, you must become a leader, a real leader. Not someone who just talks about big things, but someone who does big things. A person who inspires by example, who builds by execution, who creates so much value that people can't ignore your presence. Leadership isn't optional when it comes to wealth. If you can't lead yourself, you can't lead your life, and if you can't lead your life, you'll be at the mercy of someone else's system forever. Leaders don't follow trends, they create trends. They don't react to the market, they shape the market. They understand that their vision has to be bigger than just personal gain. It has to be about transformation, changing lives, building systems. Shifting mindsets. Financial winners create infrastructure. They don't just get rich, they build ecosystems. They create businesses, brands, networks, platforms, systems that generate revenue long after they sleep. That's the game. Passive income isn't a myth, it's just misunderstood. It doesn't mean do nothing and get paid. It means build so hard, so smart, so effectively that you eventually earn freedom. Freedom from time constraints, freedom from financial limits, freedom from geographic boundaries. But that freedom is expensive. It costs your energy, your focus, your obsession, your sweat, your sleepless nights, your discipline when everyone else is playing around. That's the price. And if you're not willing to pay it, you don't deserve the reward. Most people want to win, but won't invest. They hoard their money out of fear, not realizing that the best investment is in themselves, in their skill sets, in their networks, in their businesses. You have to become addicted to leveling up. You need to see every dollar as a seed, not a prize, and your job is to plant those seeds where they multiply. That means learning constantly. It means paying for speed, mentors, coaches, systems. It means buying back your time by hiring help. It means taking calculated risks that move you closer to financial sovereignty. The broke mindset wants to hold. The wealthy mindset wants to grow. You can't build an empire with a scared hand. You also have to understand the power of multiplication. One income stream is a joke. It's a leash. The minute that one stream dries up, you're exposed. You need to build multiple streams, but strategically. Don't chase shiny objects. Master one vehicle until it prints, then expand. Layer the wealth, stack the cash flow. Diversify not because you're scared, but because you're smart. Real wealth is anti-fragile. It doesn't crumble under pressure. It expands in chaos. You want to build a financial fortress so bulletproof that even if one stream dies, 10 more are still flowing. But here's the deeper truth. A financial win doesn't just change your bank account. It changes your identity. You stop thinking like a consumer. You start thinking like a creator. You stop chasing deals and start building empires. You stop asking for permission and start taking territory. You start viewing problems as opportunities. You don't just chase money, you attract it. You create gravitational pull through your energy, your value, your results. Money becomes a byproduct of your evolution. You realize that the bigger you become, the more money has to follow, and here's where it gets real. You have a responsibility. Once you figure out the game, once you crack the code, you're obligated to help others level up. Not out of pity, not out of guilt, but out of purpose. Because what good is your win if no one else eats? What's the point of your power if it doesn't lift others? Real wealth creates impact. It changes family trees. It opens doors, it funds dreams, it builds schools, businesses, communities. A financial win is not just personal, it's generational, it's transformational. You weren't just born to get rich, you were born to build legacies. And let me say this loud and clear, comfort is your enemy. The second you get comfortable, you start losing. The second you start coasting, you start dying. Winners stay paranoid, not in fear, but in hunger. They never let the fire go out. They understand that evolution is infinite. You never arrive. There's always another level, always another target, always another enemy to conquer. Whether it's laziness, entitlement, distraction, or mediocrity. You have to keep hunting, keep learning, keep building. The game never stops. And the moment you think you've made it, you've already lost. People say money changes you. That's wrong. Money reveals you. It amplifies your core. If you're disciplined, it multiplies your reach. If you're reckless, it exposes your weakness. That's why character matters. That's why values matter. That's why you have to build your internal infrastructure with as much intensity as your external one. You need integrity, you need clarity, You need self-awareness because the money will come. But when it does, will you be the kind of person who can handle it? Can you steward it wisely? Can you scale it with power? Or will it destroy you? That's the real test. The win is not in the money. The win is in who you become. You become dangerous, independent, untouchable, not because of your net worth, but because of your mindset. You become a force, a standard, a storm, that's the reward, and then you use that force to build more freedom, more impact, more evolution. You stop competing and start dominating. You stop watching others win and become the one they watch. You become undeniable. You have to live with urgency. Stop acting like you have forever. You don't. Time is bleeding. Every second gone is a second you never get back. You need to build like you're running out of time. Because you are, there are people counting on you. There's a version of you inside waiting to be unleashed. And every time you hesitate, you delay that evolution. Every time you procrastinate, you push the win further away. Stop waiting, stop doubting, stop explaining, start building. People will call you crazy, let them. People will doubt you, good, use it. People will try to slow you down, ignore them. Your win doesn't need their permission. It needs your commitment, your obsession, your discipline, and once you lock in, really lock in, the world bends to your will. Money flows to your command. Results become inevitable. You don't chase. You attract, you don't beg, you build, that's the game, and remember this, there are no rules, only principles. The world will try to give you a script, burn it. The world will try to put you in a box. Break it. The world will try to slow you down, outrun it. You're not here to fit in, you're here to win, and not just win temporarily, but permanently, to build something that no one can tear down, a life so powerful, so undeniable, so free, that even when you're gone, your presence is still felt. That's a financial win. That's the mission. That's the standard. Don't settle for average. Don't aim for enough. Don't strive for comfort. Build. Dominate, lead, win, over and over at every level, until winning isn't just what you do. It's who you are. So here's the truth. Brutal, unfiltered, and real. You either walk away from this message and continue playing small, or you wake up and make the decision that changes everything. A financial win isn't for the lucky. It's not for the entitled. It's for the relentless, the obsessed, the ones who refuse to lose, the ones who choose discipline over distraction, action over excuses, and domination over mediocrity. You were not born to blend in. You were born to take over, to rise, to lead, to build, and to leave something behind that screams, I was here. Your time is now, not tomorrow, not next year, now, because life doesn't wait, money doesn't chase, and success doesn't beg. You either step into your power and own the game, or be owned by it forever. Choose, move, win.